Hello, hello, hello. I'm live, and we got 4 minutes for us to really kick this thing off. 4 minutes. And in 4 minutes, I'm going to go in. I'm going to talk about you and your elevator pitch. I'm going to talk about why your elevator pitch doesn't stick, even though you may have extensive training, even though you've taken many classes on how to do an elevator pitch. You've learned so much. You've been to more than one pitch competition. You might have learned a lot of things about you and your elevator pitch, but for some reason, it never sticks. And tonight, we're going to fix that. Tonight, we're going to fix it in such a way that it sticks and it sticks forever. You're not going to ever have this problem again. All right. Now, I don't see what my wife told me to look for. I'm looking at my page. We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We're going to start on the dot tonight. 2 minutes. I made my notes. Ooh, Lord. And we're ready to roll. At the end of a long work day, I'm sure you've had a long work day, but you chose to be here anyway. Why did you do that? Why would you choose to come and listen to this guy talk about you and your elevator pitch? I'm going to solve a problem for you. This is a problem that a lot of entrepreneurs have, not just entrepreneurs, but business people and sales people too. They have the same challenge. I don't want to get too deep in it. We still got a minute and a half before we officially get kicked off. Interesting. All right. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. We're going to start in 1 minute exactly. 1 minute, we're going to get it in. This is Monday Night Sales Mastery. Back in 2017, we did these every Monday night. My wife and I, we did these Monday Night Sales Masteries, and they were wonderful experiences for us and the people we served. So we're going to wait. We're going to be on the dot tonight. All right, we about there. I'm a time guy. I like to be on the minute. I like it when my clients show up when they say they're going to show up right when, and we just going to get it in right there. Need me a new perky collar. All right, it's 9 p.m. on the dot. And just as I said I would, I'm going to start this on the dot. My name is Brian McNeill, and my company is called Very Personal Sales Coaching. Hello, Brandy. How you guys doing? I also have a company called the Selling Your Services Academy. Now, for the past 24 years of my life, I have dedicated my time, my energy, and my efforts to learning the art, to learning the craft of how to sell. I love it. Not only have I learned so much about how to sell, I taught thousands of people about how to sell better. I've read, by my own count, more than 700 books on how to sell. And I know that's a conservative estimate because several of the books I read way more than one time, because the books was good. And some of the books I go back to again and again and again as a reference, like the classic, The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. I'm sure I've read that book more than 10 times myself. But there's some books were dreadful, not really good at all, but some of them matter to me. And not only when you're reading a lot and when you're going to workshops from other people, when you're watching YouTube videos about how to sell, and then you're actually practicing it in your own practice in the marketplace of selling your services, you develop philosophies. And I've developed a philosophy that is my own that I believe is very, very effective in how to sell yourself and your services. Not only have I read a lot of books and been to a lot of things, but I've actually published well. I want you guys to know about this first book here I published. It's called The Shortcut, the fastest route to selling your services better than you ever have before so that you can earn more money than ever before. This book is nuts and bolts of what to do when you don't have a client in front of you. What do you do? What do you do when you have time and no clients? If you'll just do what that book says to do, within 4 weeks' time, you too will be profitable. I also wrote the book Asking for the Money, how anyone can close more sales, even you. This book teaches you what to do before you ask for the money. What do you do when you ask for the money? What do you do when there's a little bit of resistance? What do you do when there's a lot of resistance? This book infuses you with confidence when it comes to closing the sale. And I also want to let you know I wrote the classic book, Why Rhinos Make Great Salespeople, which is a not just for children's book featuring Mr. Randall the Rhino. I want you guys to know that a little bit about my credibility. There are several people that have taken my classes again and again and again. I'm going to talk to you about a challenge that comes up consistently. Here's the question. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? Now, a lot of people, they give wonderfully cute answers. Well, I'm a people person and I'm an idea generator and I'm a this and I'm a that. Those things are cute, but they don't sell and they don't last and they don't cause the listener to refer other people to you because they don't understand the real tangible benefit that you offer. Some people give really, really descriptive answers. They describe things. Like, well, first I get with people and I sit down with them and I discover what their challenges are. And then I offer solutions for them and I work with them to solve these problems. They're describing it. And that's fine as well. But describing what you do does not sell what you do either, because you're just telling them what it is without the tangible benefit. I have taught people over and over and over again a formula, and I'm going to teach you tonight of how to give a wonderful elevator pitch. But one of the problems I've noticed, even in my clients, even the people that have taken my training, they do wonderfully well with their elevator pitch for a while. For a while, they do wonderfully well with it. And then they do it less and less, and then they go back to what they did before. So why didn't it stick? This has puzzled me. Why doesn't, even people that got great training on how to do it, why doesn't it stick? Why doesn't it last forever? Why do they have to keep getting it fixed again and again and again? Why, just because they change benefits, because they change industries, they have to change their story so much? Tonight, that's going to be conquered. Tonight, those of you who take part in this tonight, I promise you, you're going to be way better at selling yourself and your services than you were before we started. And this is not what I hope to accomplish. It's what I know will be true. Every one of you who have taken the time to take part in this will be way better at selling yourself and your services. I'll ask you at the end. I'll intersperse my talk tonight with some gifts. I'll give away some things for free. This is going to last approximately 30 minutes, I suspect. So let's get into it. Why are you here? You are here because you understand that you are in a profession and your personal money is directly tied to how effectively you sell your services. That's why you came. You understand that just because you can do something better than someone else, that doesn't mean you're going to get more business than someone else. The ones who do it the best are not necessarily the most profitable. The ones that are the most profitable are the ones that sell it the best. And I know that may not sound pretty to some people, but there's no way of getting around it. You can have two equally talented, two equally trained people, and one of them studies it to the nth, and the other one masters how to sell it. The one who sells it the best is going to earn more money. That's just that. Now, this elevator pitch concept, it became popular in the 90s, the elevator pitch. What the elevator pitch is if you are on an elevator with a stranger and they ask you, what do you do? Could you effectively tell them what you do before you got to the bottom of the elevator and God had to get off. Give them a short burst of what do you do? That's the elevator pitch. I am personally not a fan of the phrase. I don't even like to call it an elevator pitch. I have been actively for years now trying to teach people that it's not about the elevator pitch. It's not, think about it. If someone pitches to you, what do you do if someone pitches something to you? If you look at the word in the dictionary, pitch means to throw a ball or the angle of something. That's the pitch. Okay. Or the variety of the vocal tone. Those are pitches. But if someone pitches at you, you're either going to swing at it or catch it or dodge it. I believe it's better to think of it as your story. Don't pitch to people. Tell them your story, not necessarily your pitch, your story. And I tell people all the time, your money is in your story. Your money is in your story. So let's get into it. Now, one of the things I do in my workshops, and I do pretty much every day wherever I go, if I'm going to a networking function, if I'm out and about, if I have a chance to talk to someone, I'm going to say, once I discover what they do and they know what I do, I say, let me ask you 4 questions. I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions. And some of you guys, I've asked them to you before, but these are the 4 questions I do. And it's kind of like a party trick for me, whether I'm speaking to a group of a couple of hundred people or 2 people in the room, doesn't matter. But I'll ask one person at a time. Here's the 4 questions. Question number 1, what do you do for a living? And I listen to their answer. And I get the cute or I get the descriptive most of the time. That's pretty good. I listen to that. And then if I don't really like their answer well, I put them in a scene. And I'm going to put you in a scene too. How you doing, Lawrence? I'm going to put you in a scene. If you were at a good networking event where there's no loud music and nothing like that, business people are gathered to meet other business people for that express purpose, and you just so happen to meet someone there that's friendly, and you guys are having a great networking kind of conversation. Great conversation. And in that great conversation with someone that you just met at a networking event, if they ask you, what do you do for a living? What do you say? And I listen for that answer. That's question 1. Question number 2, and I want you to think about how you would answer these questions too. So if you were at that networking event, how you doing, Curtis? If you were at that networking event and I ask you, what do you do for a living? What would you say? I want you to imagine, what would you say? That's question 1. Question number 2 is, who do you believe would pay for that service? Who do you believe would pay for that service? Now, if you say anything like anybody or everybody or all of the people that, I know that your answer is wrong. Wrong. Anybody and everybody are not your clients. And anybody and everybody should not be your clients. The only ones that should be your clients are the right fits for you. The right fit for you and your personality and the way you work. Everybody does not fit with you and your personality. You should stop saying anybody or everybody, because that's not true. Only the right fits for you should be your clients. I want you to put this in your head. These 3 words: fit before fee. Somebody post that somewhere. Fit before fee. Make sure it's the right fit before you can expect to earn money. The right fits are the ones you're supposed to earn money on. There's an old school sales adage that goes 25, 50, 25. 25% of the people, they're going to buy from you just because you and them click. It didn't feel like a buyer-seller relationship. Thank you very much, Didi. I appreciate that. It didn't feel just you and that personality clicked. The communication was easy. You enjoyed the interaction. That's right. 25% of them, 1 out of 4, just because you are the right fit for them at that time. 50% of people, any kind of salesperson can get, about half the people. Any different type of personality can get, about half of them. But that remaining 25%, anybody but you can get. And you're never going to get them, because 25% of the people, they are never going to click with you. They're not going to match with you, and you're not going to get them, period. No matter what you are, they don't like the something, okay? But you got a shot at 3 out of 4 potential clients. Amen. Amen. Curtis says, I am on the short string. Hope I can pick up on this later. Keep it going. Keep going. Okay. All right. So the second question is, who do you believe would pay for your services? Once I get that answer, the third question out of the 4 questions I ask, and I want you to ponder your answers too. The third question is, what do you call those people that decide to hire you? Once they decide to pay you, what do you call them? I call them, some people say stuff like, I call them family, or I call them my new friends. Some people say I call them customers. Some people say I call them clients. And I listen to whatever it is that you would call them if they decide to hire you. Okay. And the fourth question is, what business are you in? What business are you in? Sometimes I say, what do you mean? What business am I in? Just that. Well, how do you want me to answer that? However you choose to. What business are you in? And again, a lot of people tend to want to give cute answers here. Well, I'm in the people business. Well, I'm in the customer satisfaction business. I'm in the making people happy business. I'm in the whatever. Okay. Whatever they tell me. And then I take those 4 answers and then I repeat back to them, and then I tell them what they do. I say to them, now I'm gonna pretend I do what you do for a living. And I want you to ask me, what do I do? Let's say, for example, I met someone in financial services. And it doesn't matter. They could be a massage therapist, they could be any kind of service. Okay. Let's say let's take a massage therapist. That's a fun one to do. So I say, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm a massage therapist. That's what they say. Okay. Great. Who do you believe would pay for your services? Anybody who needs a massage, or anyone who's tired, or anyone wants to sleep better, they should use my services. Okay, great. What do you call them? I call them my clients. Great. And what business are you in? I'm in the massage business. Great. Now, I'm going to pretend I'm a massage therapist. And if someone asks me, what do I do for a living? I just say, what do you do for a living, Brian? You know how there are so many people that have aches and pains, or they're not sleeping well, or they have muscle aches, or they find themselves getting these cramps, or they're getting these muscle aches, and they're just not feeling like themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Right. Well, what I do is I actually help these people to feel better than they ever have before. And I do it through my services as a massage therapist. But I do this not only so that they can feel better, but they actually move their bodies better, which actually helps them to be more productive every day. Now, a lot of times when I pretend I was in their business, no matter what it is, I hear it all the time. I promise you. They go, wow, oh man, that was great. I wish I had recorded that. Now, I used to tell people, if you let me help you, you'll come up with a better story for your business than I just did. Because I don't know your business the way you know it. You're in it every day. I just listen to what you tell me what you do for a living, and I used a formula to tell your story. I used a formula to tell your story. Now, I used to always tell people for years, I've been telling people, because you understand your game better than I do, once you learn my formula, which I'm about to teach, you could tell a story way better than I could. And I have a great business coach who's a friend of mine. He used to always, whenever he heard me say that to a group, he goes, no, Brian, they can't. They can't do it as good as you can do it. I'm like, Steve, why can't they do it? Yes, they can. No, they can't do it. They don't understand it as well as you do. And he would tell me that they don't understand it. They know the formula, but they don't understand why it works. And I've just recently come to the conclusion that's the reason why even my trainees, even people that I'm helping, and I really, really want everyone I help to be wildly successful in selling themselves and their services. Why even someone that took my class like years ago, and then I ask them what they do for a living, and then they flub it up. Like, woo, now, wait a minute. And then if I spark their memory, what about your story? You know how? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I remember what it is. And then they can do it again when I spark their memory. Why don't they do it all the time? This is too expensive for you to mess up. The average American knows about 600 people. If you don't answer that question well the first time, you potentially can never get into their networks. And I train people to sell through the person you're talking to, not necessarily to them. I don't say, you know how you need to learn how to sell better and you need to do this and you need to learn how to close. No, 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 no. I sell through them. Of the people you know, who do you believe would most benefit from learning how to sell themselves better or learning how to sell this? Sometimes I say, man, everybody at my office needs to learn this. Sometimes I say, I need to learn it. See how I sold through them? I sold through them into their network and I don't lose them. Amen. Now, back on, let me teach you the formula now. And you're going to want to write this down. And Sister Dee Dee, I really appreciate you helping me here. It's a 3-part formula. Or if you be willing to, just write these down as I say them. Step 1, it's a 3-step formula. Step 1, and write these words exactly this way. All of you on here, write these 3 words on a clean, get a clean sheet of paper, start at the top, and write these 3 words. You know how. If I had my dry erase board, I'd write it myself for you. The 3 words, you know how. Not I know how. Write YOUKNOW, how, ... Please write that down. You know how, ... Now, after you've written you know how, ... ellipses, I want you to skip like 5 full lines. Skip 5 lines on that page. Write you know how. Step 1, you know how. Thank you so much, my sister. I appreciate you. Skip like 5 lines on that page and then write these words. Well, what I do is ... Well, what I do is ... Now, let me tell you this. I used to participate in pitch competitions and I always win. Always. I won like 10 of them, pitch competitions over the years. And then I was judging pitch competitions for years at colleges and at high schools, pitch competitions where they'd have to come up with a business and they have to present them in front of the judges. And I've done that for years, judging pitch competitions. And I don't participate in those competitions anymore because I know I'm going to win. I know that sounds cocky, but I studied to show myself approved. And I take my work very seriously. I'm not casual about it. So the first part is you know how. Skip 5 lines and then write the words, well, comma, what I do is ... Now, after you've written that, skip 5 more lines. Tonight is not about theory. Tonight is not about probabilities. These are what will work for you immediately. What you're learning tonight, you're going to see results with this with the very next person that asks you, what do you do for a living? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to prove it to you tonight. And then the third step, so that they can. Those 4 words, so that they can. So that they can. I have been teaching people this for years. And tonight, I'm going to teach you deeper why this works so effectively so that it can stick with you forever. The reason why I'm able to do that with anyone's service within moments is all I have to understand is what problems they're solving, who they serve, and the benefit of their services. That's it. Once I understand that, so that they can. So let's break it down. Going back to the first part. Now, the reason why I asked you to leave 5 lines is because I want you to put whatever notes that you need to put so that this makes sense to you so that you're never, ever, ever uncomfortable answering this question again. So the first part, you know how. If someone says, what do you do for a living? Whether it's in person, over the phone, or even online, anywhere, however they ask you, I want you to recognize that as an opportunity. When someone asks you, what do you do for a living? That is first your opportunity to introduce into the conversation a problem that your service solves. Use the preface of, you know how. You know how is an invitation. I'm inviting you to agree with what I'm about to say. You know how, get ready to agree. There are so many people that, and then you introduce a problem. It should sound like an easy to agree upon and easy to understand problem. You don't have to mention all of the problems you solve, just an easy to understand one. You know how there are so many people that my sister Dee Dee that's on here right now. She is a depression advocate. She helps people deal with their daily depression, even the not so pretty side of it. So if I was in her game, you know how there are so many people that suffer quietly with depression. They battle it every day. It confuses them, it frustrates them, and they wish they had some answers. What I did was I introduced a problem, and the person that heard it, all I'm looking for them to do is to agree upon the problem in any kind of way. You know how there are so many people that battle depression daily? Yes, I know exactly what you mean. I'm looking for any kind of agreement, even slight agreement. Uh-huh is enough. Anything that indicates that they heard what you said and they agree that that's a problem. You're very welcome, my sister. You're getting them to agree. The moment they agree upon the service that you saw, I mean, the problem that you solve, that is the moment, people, where they have metaphorically taken you by the hand. And now you can take them on a journey. You know how there are so many people that are completely confused about their money. They make great money, but they're always broke. You know how there are so many people that are can already see their retirement on the horizon and they have the oh shoot expression because they know they have not prepared for retirement years. You know how, and you're looking to get them to agree. Once you have gotten them to agree on the problem that you're solving in any kind of a way, you don't need big agreement. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. You don't need all of that. You need any kind of agreement. You know how there are so many people that they agreed, moving on. Once they have agreed on the problem, now if they don't say they understand, if they don't know what you mean, you know what I mean? No, I don't know what you mean. Then explain it better. Okay, but typically they'll get it on the first pass. The second part, you know how there are so many people that deal with depression and all that? Well, what I do is I actually help these people right where they are. I provide for them resources, coaching, counseling, a loving ear, and direction. Well, what I do is here you are painting yourself as if you are the solution to the problem that they just agreed was a problem. Well, what I do is now notice if they ask me what do I do for a living, I could have said I'm a financial planner, I'm a dog trainer, I'm a masseuse, uh, I help people to buy cars, whatever the service is. By the way, I help people to sell services, intangible services. I'm not the product salesman. I don't help you to sell cars. I help you to sell a service, lawn mowing services, financial services, coaching, consulting, anything that has to be sold through the story. That is what I'm an expert at. Lori McDonald says, I always use this formula, teach it to clients, and it is magic. And she's right. It is magic. You know how? Well, what I do is you make sure that you tell them. Now, the second part here, here's where some people mess it up. Well, what I do is they start describing how they do it. I do not want you to describe how you do it. I just want you to tell that you do it. If you're a consultant, for example, but what I do is I go into a company and I look at their books and I look at how they're doing their money coming in and out, and I find out where the leaks are in their money, and I help them to close those gaps and leaks. No, 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 no. That's not the time for that. Yes, that's what you do, but you don't tell how you do it. You just tell that you do it. Well, what I do is you're basically conveying that you solved that problem that they just agreed was a problem through your services. You're conveying that you solve the problem through your services. The third part, the ending of your story. The beginning of your story is getting to agree upon the problem that you solve. The middle of your story is painting yourself as a solution to the problem. And you also need to be, every one of you here, I want you starting now, if you haven't been doing it before, start thinking of yourself as if you are the solution to a problem. You're the solution to a problem. You're the answer to a question. You're the aspirin to a headache. You're the solution to a problem. Think of yourself that way all the time. You're not just what you do, you are the problems you solve. Amen? Okay. Can you use advertising example? Sure can, Sister Hasana. So if Hasana asks me, what do I do for a living? You know how there are so many businesses that are really trying to figure out a way to separate themselves from the crowd. They've tried all kinds of marketing and none of it really, really works effectively for them. And they just cannot figure out how to distinguish themselves from everyone else, how to get their message out the right way. And it just really, really frustrates them. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Well, what I do is I simplify that whole process through my services as an advertising expert. I show folks through my services how they can actually separate themselves from the crowd and actually reach the people that they want to reach through a combination of my services and modern techniques to advertise and market. But I do this so that they can not only make more money, but they can actually focus on the things that earn them money instead of focusing on the things that's trying to get them money. How was that, Sister Hasana? Was that close to what you do? Was that good or bad? I want to hear your answer, please. Just type it in. Was my answer good or bad? By the way, your story is going to take 25 to 35 seconds. That's it. Even if you do it slowly, it's not going to take more than 35 seconds. By the way, also, there are two types of people that love stories. Two types of, Hassan said it was awesome. Now it's not 8:29. I extended to go for 30 minutes, but I'm not finished yet. And I want to keep going until I'm finished tonight. So I'm gonna run a little bit longer. If you can hang with me, hang with me. Now, where was I? Now, it takes 25 to 35 seconds. That's it. Bravo. Thank you, Brother Curtis. Again, now there's two types of people that love stories. One of them is children. Children love stories. And the other type of person that loves stories is adults. And you know that's true because we have movies and television shows and we get hooked on the stories. Stories. Listen to me here. Your money is in your story. Say it with me now. Your money is in your story. And no one has a story like you. Simon says, thank you, sir. Also, please follow my business page. Let's talk about that later. By the way, I give these free trainings here. These are the things, I don't give away everything. I give away the things that I'm willing to give away for free. Why do I do that? I do this because I know each time I share genuinely, each time I give from my heart and from my intellectual property, I'm going to find someone that I can really serve. There's going to be somebody on here that's going to take this information and just do the best they can with it and move on. But there's also going to be someone that says, man, that wasn't worth it for me. I think I need a little bit more. And if they want a little bit more, I'll provide them. I speak to gain clients. This is my livelihood. I speak to gain, just like Lisa Nichols. She says, I give speeches to find clients. That's what she says. I give talks to get clients. This is my livelihood. This is what I do. And I do it as good as I can with everyone because everyone I help is my personal report card. And I want a good report card. So you know how. Well, what I do is so that they can. Now let's go to the so that they can. Put some stars around so that they can. Highlight it. The ending of your story, hear me clearly, the ending of your story is more important than the beginning and the middle. I know. The ending of your story is more important than the beginning and the middle. The ending of your story is so important that even if you mess up the beginning and the middle, if you do a good ending of your story, you can still win. Even people who have taken training, even people who have taken my training, sometimes they tend to forget the end of the story. And that's the most important part. Tonight, I intend to go deeper. You do all of that cool stuff you do for what? You do all that cool stuff you do so that they can what? What is the benefit of having listened to you at all? What is the benefit of working with you? You don't need to tell all of the benefits. You need to tell a benefit at least. Because if you don't tell a benefit of what you do, it's as if you didn't have any benefits, which is worse. Most people who don't understand the story, what they do is they hope that the client will figure out the ending on their own. And that's what's called low probability selling. You don't want your clients to have to figure out the benefit of you. And you don't want them to go with you just because you do it. You do all that cool stuff so that they can what? So that they can be happier, so that they can earn more money, so that they can move faster, so that they can stress less, so they can sleep better, so that they can find loving relationships, so they can love on themselves, so they can let go of past hurts, so they can feel better about their lives. What is the benefit of working with you? And you have to say it. You have to audibly say what is the benefit of working with you. You do all that cool stuff so that they can something. Again, you don't have to tell all of the benefits. You don't have to tell 3 or 4 benefits, but you need to tell at least one or two is what I say. You know how? What I do is so that they can. Now, you all have the formula. Here's what's going to happen. If you are courageous enough to practice this formula, think of yourself now. You got to be courageous enough to practice this formula when people ask you what you do for a living. Say the words, you know how. Well, what I do is so that they can. If you're courageous enough to try this out, that what I taught you tonight, if you're courageous enough to try this out, here's what you're going to find. Over the next 4 or 5 people that you tell your story this way to them, it's going to happen that fast. Over the next 4 or 5 people, you're going to notice that their interest level in you and what you do will have risen greatly. You're going to notice that they become much more interested in you because of the way they respond to you. You're going to notice that they're going to say to you, really? Huh? Oh my gosh. You know who you need to talk to? Man, I wish I had. Oh, I needed you. They're going to notice. You're going to notice the quality of their responses to you has gone up noticeably to you over the next 4 or 5 people. It will. Why? Because now they can see you as a benefit. Now they can see you as a solution to a problem by following a formula. The beautiful thing about having a formula is you don't have to be in the mood to do good. You don't have to be the right temperature. You don't have to be feeling great. Just do what you're supposed to do and you can still win. Systems, by the way, selling systems are more profitable than selling skills. A system from the initial handshake to paying client. If you have a system that you use, if you don't have a system, holla at your boy. My phone number is 919-345-4893. That's 919-345-4893. If you want to schedule your free session with me, I can't type it in myself. Maybe I can get Didi to help me with this. If you want to schedule your own free selling your services consultation, go to my Calendly link, Calendly, CALENDLY.com/ capital B, uh, capital BKM McNeill. BKM McNeill. BKM McNeill. McNeill. My last name has two L's on it. So you can go to my Calendly link and schedule your own free session with me. And it'll last about 15 to 20 minutes. And I will help you, Hasana, you should take advantage of this. I will help you to build your story. Let me help you to do it. Two heads are better than one. And if I partnered with you, you'll sell better, no doubt. Now, if you're courageous enough to take on this challenge I've issued tonight, tell your story using this formula. Your story, not your elevator pitch. Although I know a lot of people like the term, I don't. I want you to tell your story. If you will do this over the next 4 or 5 people, their interest level in you will have gone up. But note this, it is going to take you, even you, it's going to take you 10 to 15 tries to get it right. It's going to take you 10 to 15 tries with 10 to 15 different people before you have it really right. Even if you're good at it on the first, second, third, fourth, fifth try, even if you're good at it, you may change. She said she don't have her glasses on. My Calendly link, Dee, she did put it in. That's no, not Brian K. McNeill. It's BK McNeill, not Brian K. McNeill, my sister. I appreciate you though. Calendly, and it's calendly.com. Calendly.com/BK McNeill. I wonder if I can do it. I can't do it. Okay. I can't. I'm sorry. Can't type it. I'll put it in the replay. I'll put it in the notes. My Calendly is calendly.com/BK McNeill. That's it. She got it right. Dee Dee Harrison's got it right. That's it right there. Thank you very much. That's it. Okay, good. Now, you might say it differently the next 9 times in a row, and that is okay. It is vain for you to think that you're not going to have some sort of a learning curve. You're going to have a learning curve. Okay, that's the way it's supposed to go. No, Hasana, the way Dee Dee has it is calendly.com/BK McNeill. That's how it should go. You're going to have a learning curve. If you are in a profession, that means you have to learn something to earn your money with it. Okay. So it's going to take you the next 9 times, bro. You might say it differently, and that makes sense to me. I don't want you to be so vain or frustrated if you don't get it right the first 10 times. But somewhere between the 10th and the 15th person that you tell your story to this way, somewhere between the 10th and the 15th person, someone's going to ask you what you do for a living. The answer is going to flow through you, unlike any other time before. And you're going to know you have it right when they say, wow, wow. They're going to say, wow. When you tell them what you do, they're going to say, wow, I wish I had worked with you last year. This is not what I hope to happen. I know this will be true. I've got thousands of people I help with this. I've got hundreds, literally hundreds of testimonials written out on the effectiveness of my coaching. Go to my LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, if you want to find me on LinkedIn, I'm linkedin.com/the best sales coach. The best sales coach on LinkedIn. Or you can just find me under my name, Brian K. McNeill or Brian Keith McNeill. But the best sales coach. If you put that in a search on LinkedIn, you're going to find me. The best sales coach. Why do I say that? Because I've heard it enough times that I'm starting to believe it. But somewhere between the 10th and the 15th time that you tell your story this way, they're going to say, wow. Tonight, I think if you guys can understand why it works, this will fix your story. This will fix your elevator pitch forever. The reason why this works is you got them to agree on a problem you solve. You painted yourself as the solution and you gave a benefit. Here's something else I want to say on this. Probably my last point. Why you're doing this is more important than what you actually say. The words you actually choose are not as important as the point of the words. You can be articulate, great, but you don't have to be wonderfully articulate. if the reason why you're doing it is clearly articulated, you're wanting them to understand a problem you solve. So I don't want you guys to figure out what's the exact perfect word to say, because it doesn't matter as much. What matters more is why you're saying it. Can I get an amen from somebody? If you agree with this point, give me an amen. Why you're doing the points matters more than what you're actually saying. I want you to use this as a track to run on. You know how? Well, what I do is so that they can. Again, I want to post my phone number. I want to tell you guys my phone number. Amen, Brother Lawrence. Brother Lawrence, I don't know what it is, but I do know that you and I are going to work together on some project, man. We're going to do something together. I feel it, man. Thank you for the amens I've gotten from you guys. I appreciate it. Now, when I started tonight at 9 p.m. on the dot, I intended to go for about 30 minutes, and we've already been going 42 minutes. But I did say that everyone who took this ride with me, thank you, Brother Curtis, you will all be better at selling your services than you were before we started. Thank you, Laurie. You all would be better. I also said it's not what I hope to accomplish, what I know will be true. Did I accomplish my goal of making you better at selling yourself and your services than you were before tonight's workshop? If anyone says I did accomplish my goal, just let me know. Or do you feel like you're now better with just these 43 minutes at selling yourself and your services? Does anyone feel like they've gained enough or gained something that makes them even a little bit better than they were before I started talking? Brother Curtis says, yes, sir. Curtis, that's what I did this for. I did this for you. I did this to make sure that I got your yes, sir, and Sister Hassana's yes. And my sister Dee saying, you did your thing again. I love it because I believe, I'm a believer, first off. I believe that God has uniquely qualified me. God has uniquely taught me things and brought me through some valleys, some failures, and beat my head up against a wall and not making any money and getting frustrated and then having to figure it out and then having some successes and then major failures and getting up and down and figuring this thing out and going through all this stuff, but still having love to do it. I believe he has uniquely qualified me to help you to sell yourself and your services better than you ever have before. This is my life's work, and I want to do it to the full. If you're not connected with me, please connect with me. Now, I'm done talking all I want to say, but I will say this last thing. There's probably somebody that you know that would have benefited from this greatly that wasn't here. There's probably somebody that you know, there's probably some organization with salespeople on it that are afraid that if they don't start making more money, they're going to have to shut their doors. There's probably somebody you know that really does help people. They have something that they know really helps people, but they're scared of this. They're scared, oh my God, if I don't start making money, I'm going to have to go and get a real job. And that's not their passion. That person that is at the place where they know if they don't start earning more money now, they're going to either have to go do something they don't want to do, or they're going to have to give up on something they don't want to give up on. Please refer that person to me. I will help them. It starts with a free consultation with me. I thank you guys for your time and your participation tonight. Lori says, absolutely love hearing you explain it again. Always get the benefit. Thanks, Brian. Lori, for example, I've known Lori now probably since 2007 or 8, something like that. Okay. And she's heard me say this story a few times before. You're very welcome, Dee. She's heard me do this a few times before, but she came back again tonight. She came back for another dip. What kind of person would come back and get another dip? A champion would. A champion. Lori, you are a champion. A champion would reinforce what they may already be good at. A champion will practice that jumper again and practice that free throw again and again and again. Last story. Jason Williams was the number 2 pick in the NBA draft when he came out. And he was a hot shot. He was the college player of the year. And he got drafted by Chicago Bulls. And the Los Angeles Lakers was in town, and their star player at the time was Kobe Bryant. So Jason wanted to make sure that he had a good game against Kobe Bryant. So he goes to the gym early that day to get ready for the game that night. And when he shows up at the gym, Kobe Bryant is already there working. Kobe's there practicing hard. And he could tell Kobe had been there for a while because he had a full lather, his clothes was drenched. So he looked like he had been there for a while. So he didn't want to mess with Kobe. Kobe's at one end of the court. So he goes and he does his whole routine preparation. And he finishes what he was going to do. He finished what he came to do, and Kobe was still working. So he leaves, and Kobe was still working. And he left, and he wasn't going to have the game. Kobe had an amazing game, of course, that night. And then he later had a chance to talk to Kobe. He says, Kobe, I had this time. I saw you working out. I did my whole routine, and you were still working out. He says, why was you working out so hard on the day of a game? And Kobe told him, I saw you when you came in. I saw you, but I wanted you to see the kind of work and the kind of dedication it took to be great. So I made sure I don't care how long you were still going to stay. I knew I was going to stay longer than you because I wanted you to see what it took. That's the kind of dedication I aspire to for my craft. Again, I thank you all for joining me tonight. We went way longer than I wanted to go tonight. I intended to go tonight. So I appreciate you all. God bless you. I am here to help you sell yourself and your services. I don't try to do everything, but the things I try to do it as good as I can. God bless you guys. Have a good night.